Think MP3 players are dead? Think again. Whether you're tired of draining your phone's battery, want to disconnect from constant notifications, or just need a dedicated device for your music collection, we've found 5 MP3 players that'll blow your mind. From budget-friendly options to audiophile dreams, I've dropped updated links with the best pricing in the description below. Let's dive into the best MP3 players you can grab right now. Okay, so at number 5, we've got the Mighty 3 Spotify and Amazon Music player, and here's the thing about this one. It's basically designed for people who are all in on streaming but want to leave their phone behind. This little gadget is specifically built to work offline with Spotify and Amazon Music, which is pretty genius if you think about it. You sync your playlists over Wi-Fi, and then boom, you're good to go without needing any data connection. Perfect for runs, gym sessions, or anywhere you don't want to lug your phone around. The device itself is super compact and clip-on, which means you can attach it to your shirt, shorts, or gym bag without even thinking about it. It's got about 5 hours of battery life, which honestly should get you through most workouts or commutes no problem. The interface is pretty straightforward. No fancy touchscreen here, just physical buttons that you can actually feel and press without looking. Some people love that simplicity, especially when you're mid-workout and don't want to be fiddling with a screen. Now, the Mighty 3 runs around $99 to $120 depending on where you catch it. And here's the catch. You do need an active Spotify Premium or Amazon Music subscription for it to work. So if you're already paying for one of those services and you hate bringing your phone everywhere, this could be your perfect match. But if you've got a huge library of MP3s you've collected over the years, this isn't the player for you since it's streaming focused. It's really a niche device, but for the right person, it's absolutely perfect. Coming in at number 4 is the Sony NWA306 Walkman A series. And alright, so Sony's back with the Walkman brand, and this one is seriously impressive if you care about audio quality. This isn't just some basic MP3 player. Sony packed this thing with high-resolution audio support, which means if you've got FLAC files or other lossless formats, this device will actually do them justice. We're talking about a legitimate audiophile experience in a portable package. The built-in DAC and amplifier are miles ahead of what you'd get from a smartphone, and you can genuinely hear the difference, especially with decent headphones. The design feels premium too. It's got this Android-based touchscreen interface that's actually responsive and intuitive. You can install streaming apps like Spotify, Tidal, or Apple Music if you want. Plus, it's got 32 gigabytes of internal storage that you can expand with a micro SD card. Battery life is solid at around 36 hours for MP3 playback, though that drops if you're streaming over Wi-Fi. What really sets this apart, though, is Sony's audio processing tech. Things like DSEE Ultimate that upscales compressed audio, and a customizable equalizer that lets you dial in your perfect sound signature. Here's where it gets real, though. The Sony NWA306 typically runs between $300 and $350, so this is definitely an investment piece. You're paying for that Sony engineering and audiophile-grade components, which means this probably isn't your first MP3 player. This is for people who really care about how their music sounds and are willing to pay for quality. If you're just looking for something basic to throw your workout playlist on, there are way cheaper options. But if you're serious about your audio and want a dedicated music device that sounds incredible, the Walkman absolutely delivers. At number 3, we have the iMunsa 128GB MP3 player with Bluetooth, and this one is one of those players that just gives you a ton of features for the price. And honestly, it's kind of surprising how much they packed into this thing. Right out of the box, you're getting 128GB of storage, which is enough for thousands of songs. Like, you could basically carry your entire music library without breaking a sweat. Plus, it's got Bluetooth 5.3, so you can connect your wireless earbuds or headphones without dealing with any cables. It's also got a 2.4-inch touchscreen that's pretty responsive for navigating your library. What's cool about this player is that it's not just for music. You can use it for audiobooks, podcasts, and it's even got an FM radio built in if you're into that. The battery life is advertised at around 48 hours for audio playback, which is pretty wild. You could go almost a whole week without charging this thing if you're a casual listener. It supports basically every audio format you can think of, from MP3 and FLAC to WAV and APE, so you're not limited in what you can throw on there. And if 128GB somehow isn't enough, there's a micro SD card slot that supports up to 512GB more. Price-wise, the iMunsa usually sits around $40 to $60, which is honestly a steal for what you're getting. This is perfect for someone who wants a straightforward, no-frills music player that just works. The sound quality is decent, not audiophile territory like the Sony, but totally solid for everyday listening. Build quality is plastic, so don't expect premium materials, but it feels sturdy enough for daily use. If you're looking for maximum storage and features without spending a fortune, the iMunsa hits that sweet spot really well. At number 2 is the Oasis G5 MP3 player, and this one is interesting because it tries to bridge the gap between budget players and premium ones, and I think it does a pretty good job. This thing's got a really nice 2-inch touchscreen that's surprisingly clear and easy to navigate. The interface is simple enough that anyone can figure it out in like 2 minutes, but it's still got enough features to keep things interesting. One thing that stands out is the sound quality. They've included a decent DAC chip that really makes a difference compared to cheaper options. Your music just sounds cleaner and more detailed. Storage-wise, you're getting 16 gigabytes built in, and there's a micro SD slot that'll take up to 128 gigabyte cards, so you've got plenty of room to grow. Battery life is solid at about 70 hours of audio playback, which is honestly crazy. Charge it once and you're basically set for weeks. It's got Bluetooth connectivity so you can go wireless, and it supports all the major formats including lossless ones like FLAC and APE. There's also an FM radio, voice recorder, and ebook reader if you want those extras. The build feels pretty good too. It's got this metal back that makes it feel more premium than its price tag would suggest. You're looking at around $70 to $90 for the Oasis G5, depending on sales and where you buy it. For that price range, you're getting really solid value. The sound quality punches above its weight, the battery life is fantastic, and it's got enough features to keep most people happy without being overwhelming. It's not going to compete with something like the Sony for pure audio performance, but for most listeners, this is more than good enough. If you want something that feels quality without breaking the bank, the G5 is definitely worth considering. And at number 1, we have the AGPTEKA02 MP3 player. And so this one takes our top spot. And honestly, it's because this thing just nails the basics at an unbeatable price. This is probably the most popular budget MP3 player on the market, and there's a good reason for that. It's super simple. You've got a 1.8-inch screen, physical buttons, 16 gigabytes of storage, and a micro SD slot for expansion. That's it. No fancy touchscreens, no streaming apps, just you and your music. And you know what? Sometimes that's exactly what you need. The interface is dead simple to use, which makes it perfect for kids, older folks, or anyone who just wants to press play and listen to music without dealing with complicated menus. Battery life is solid at around 70 hours, and it supports all the common formats like MP3, WMA, APE, FLAC, and WAV. Sound quality is actually pretty good for the price, definitely better than you'd expect. It's got a built-in FM radio, voice recorder, and even an ebook reader if you want to load some text files on there. Plus, it's tiny and lightweight, so it literally disappears in your pocket. Here's the kicker though. The AGPTEKA02 usually runs between $20 and $30. Yeah, you read that right. For the price of a couple coffees, you get a dedicated music player that just works. The build is plastic and basic, sure, but it's actually pretty durable for what it is. This is perfect for the gym, jogging, traveling, or just keeping in your car for road trips. You're not going to get audiophile sound quality or fancy features, but if you want something affordable that does exactly what an MP3 player should do without any fuss, the A02 is honestly hard to beat. It's the people's champ for a reason.